Hey y'all, I'm Khadeen Ellis.
And I'm Devale Ellis.
And we are Ellis.
And make sure you stay tuned in to According to Portia.
Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Portia Monique, and today I'll be your host.
What's up, Portia Monique?
Portia Monique. That has a ring to it. I like it.
I got a cousin named Portia and an aunt named Monique.
There we go. That's probably why I
family.
like it.
So y'all ain't never gonna forget. We family now.
Yeah, we go.
Yes. So today I am joined by the dynamic award-winning duo who has mastered the art of love, laughter, and leveling up. Devale and Khadeen Ellis.
I
like that.
Leveling up. I like the alliteration.
Love it. So you guys have gone from Hollywood to home life. You're on TV, you're on podcasts, you're on films, you're doing the thing as a Black love couple. And after 15 years of Deadass with Khadeen and Devale, what was the defining moment that made you both decide that you wanted to relaunch as the Ellis's Ever After? Is it Ellis Ever After or Ellis's Ever After?
It's Ellis Ever After.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what made you guys want to rebrand?
Well, this was funny. It wasn't supposed to be a rebrand. We were done podcasting.
Yeah.
We had done 15 seasons. We done 15 seasons, 7 years, won a Webby Award. We got our book, We Over Me, won New York Times bestseller. We felt like
sold out tours.
Yeah, we felt like we shared enough of our story. So our final tour was supposed to be the Love Against the World tour. And at the end of the tour, we got so much feedback from fans and people saying, okay, the tour was nice, but the podcast ain't over, right? And we didn't know how to answer at first. And then we were just like, maybe we shouldn't end it if people are really asking for it. So then we put out a poll and said, hey, if we kept the podcast coming back, would y'all listen? And it was like a resounding yes.
Wow.
So at that point, we felt like, well, how can we level up? We can't keep doing the same thing. At some point, it has to come to an end. So we figured, let's show them what life is like after we've learned how to communicate. Because Deadass was supposed to just be a joke. It was battle of the sexes. It was a man versus a woman, a husband versus a wife. Let's argue publicly and show them how we communicate. And then it became a thing where we were healing through that process.
We were.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know you felt like that about that.
Portia, some of the best conversations that he and I had as a married couple, and even just some of our individual struggles that we maybe have grown up with as children and didn't even recognize until that one podcast episode, it would turn into full on like conversation pieces for us, whether it was date night or just after that podcast episode, after the camera stopped rolling and the mics are cut, it's like, man, I didn't know that you really felt like that. Or, man, I could see how this happened in your childhood. And it immediately just brought to mind how you are now because of that. You're a clear reflection of that. So it was just a really good way for us to learn about each other, we used to say read each other publicly as a form of therapy, but essentially we were talking through just grown people stuff that a lot of people weren't talking about. And a lot of people resonated with it. People who listened loved it.
We really just wanted to change the narrative. Like, we're tired of the whole battle of the sexes thing. Like, Khadeen and I, we are better together. We say this all the time. And we no longer want to contribute to that aspect of social media where people are just arguing about who's right, man or woman, who's 50-50. It's both of us. So we want people to come here and be like, this is what the Ellises are after they learned how to communicate. This is the Ellises Ever After.
Absolutely.
And that's how we came up with the name.
Yep.
Love it. And it opened up the communication gates for you guys. And so your relationship, your family life, like everything is better off all the way around. And we love to see it. Right. So on the big screen, on the little screen, in real life, we love to see this Black love exemplified. So
thank you
guys for being one of those beacons of hope.
We appreciate you, Portia. We really, again, we don't want to be hope for people. We just want to be an example that they can see.
Yeah.
So
it work.
What that means for you, you can see this example and be like, man, I'm never getting married. At least you saw something that okay, that's not what I want. Or you see us and say, hey, I want that.
Yeah.
For us, it's not just about being hope or being a couple goal. It's just about being an example that people could see, because so many people have never seen a husband and a wife communicate the way we communicate.
Yeah. And what we're trying to promote is people showing up every day as who they authentically are.
Yeah.
Right? Don't show up as the representation of yourself or who you think people want you to be. That's something we discussed in our book, We Over Me. It's like, if you are on the dating scene, for example, mind you, Devale and I haven't dated in years, clearly, but I feel like what I've heard from feedback from just single girlfriends or some of Devale's single guy friends is that, you don't really know what you're getting because people show up as this representation of self instead of being intentional and being open about what it is they're looking for. So that's what we try to encourage anyone to do, is just really walk truthfully in who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Now, what do you want your audience to experience differently this time around, if anything?
The biggest thing I want them to experience is understanding that there's more than just one perspective in the world. Your perspective isn't the only perspective. So we've added co-hosts. So we have the after show that we do on our Patreon, which became insanely popular on our Patreon. They was like, y'all should extend the after show. And then I was like, the after show is a podcast. I said, wait a minute. Let's do a podcast with those same people from the after show. So Matt, Tribble, Josh, all the people from the after show are now a part of the full podcast. Mm-hmm. So now in real time, you get to hear our perspective on what we're going through, but we also get to hear other people's perspectives in real time. So it really creates, an echo chamber of ideas amongst people who are all working together to see how we can advance and move forward.
Yeah, because as we did the podcast, with every episode, Devale and I would record it. But, of course, Matt would be operating the camera, Josh a camera, Tribble in the back as our producer. And we'd have such insightful conversations after. So it's like, while you guys are sitting there anyway, you might as well join the conversation so we can get the perspectives. And people can also look forward to some of the staple deadass moments, like story time, karaoke, moment of truth, listener letters. We're still going to have those.
All of those are going to be there.
Yeah, that made the Deadass podcast what it was. But we're just adding a couple new twists and new fun segments that I think people will really enjoy.
We have a new fun segment that I think people are really going to enjoy. It's called Op or No Op, right? And when we say op, we're talking about opinions. So we're going to go through a list of current events. And we're going to ask all of the members, do you have an opinion or no opinion on this? What we're trying to get people to start doing in social media era is say, look, I'm not educated enough to have an opinion on this, so I don't have one.
Right.
And starting that trend and being like, you know what, I don't have an opinion on that. Next.
Great. I'm so happy you don't have an opinion because we don't want to hear it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's try to use discretion.
Let's use
when
discretion.
We're giving our input to certain topics. Like, does this affect you in any way? Is this going to help you grow? Do you have facts? Have you watched the entire podcast versus judging people off of a 30-second clip and creating your own narrative? Like, let's start that. If you really want to have something to say, let's make the conversations more insightful. Yeah. So we'll see if it sticks.
Yeah. Heavy on the, do you have facts? Did you do your what you're talking about? If not, opt out. Just
opt out.
Just opt out. Find some way to make you a better person instead of putting your nose in business that has nothing to do with you. So that's left to be seen, Portia. We'll see.
Looking forward to it. Now, you guys have always been very transparent about your relationship and your family. How do you balance the personal as well as the professional aspects of your lives while keeping it real with your audiences?
I always use this analogy. There's 1,440 minutes in a day, right? If I show you a video for 1 minute, that's less than 1,000% of what you know about me. So if you think about it, I could share 10 minutes of a video in a day and you think you know everything and you know nothing. The way we balance, I don't share a video without this woman, Jackson, Cairo, and Kaz, and Dakota looking at it and saying, okay, I'll rock with that. Because it's no longer just my likeness. If I'm going to include my kids, include my wife, I include them. Yeah. We talk about everything we post, and we don't post anything we're not in agreement with.
We also are very in tune with real life. Every day. Day to day, being present, being active parents, being active partners. One challenge for us over the years was knowing when to clock out of work and when to clock back in. Sometimes I'd be like, Devale, I don't want my business partner. I don't want my co-host. I want my man.
Like, go ahead.
Yeah. Honestly, that's real talk. Yeah.
Yeah, she's serious though.
Because I was like, you want to talk about the X's and O's of the game, honey. And I just want to go over here and just have some ice cream and chill with my husband and my friend. Like, this is ultimately my best friend. And we work because we are best friends. And our children are going to be able to benefit from two best friends living their wildest dreams together, doing it and building a legacy for these boys moving forward and having a good time doing it. So that's really where our focus is, and trying to absorb the moments because time is fleeting. Our boys are growing so fast. We are ready to hit the fourth floor, child. So I'm just trying to stay mobile, stay hydrated, You know what I'm saying? Keep my waist snatched and all that good stuff.
Right. And mind your business. And
that's exactly
the process.
Opting out of a lot of stuff. We've been opting out of a lot of stuff.
Baby, for the past couple of years. Don't sign me up. Don't circle back.
Spending time with your husband and simply eating ice cream. How and when do you guys find time to date? Like literally date? Like
every week.
Yeah. Oh, we don't find time.
Every single week. One thing I will say about my mother-in-law, shout out to Mimi.
My mama.
Mimi will go to her daughter and say, you know, it's been a couple of days since you've spent some time with your husband. I have the kids. You need to just go.
Yeah.
Go. That she would literally say that. You should
see my phone. She sends me DMs of all these places. This might be a cute date night spot. That might be. So it's really just the support we have from our village, man. We would literally cannot do it without them. Yeah. And we are very deliberate about carving out time for each other. I was not as good about that, sometimes. And then sometimes he gets, very tunnel vision with work. So he may not be good in that moment, but we hold each other accountable. Yep. And sometimes it's a simple, babe, I miss you. Like we're doing all the things, but all the things mean nothing if we're not locked in.
And it's more than an I miss you. It's an I miss you. What you about to do about that? Because I just told you I missed you, and we ain't gonna keep going like this. So we both hold each other accountable. She tell me she missed me, then my next thing is like, yo, I can't do this. Yeah, you can take that off my calendar. I'm not doing it. I gotta go with my wife.
Yeah. Couple more questions, and then we're out of here. Vision for Ellis Ever After. Looking ahead, what do you both hope to accomplish with this new podcast that you haven't already accomplished yet with your previous podcast? Where do you see it in, say, like the next few years?
If I'm being 100% honest, in the next few years, I see us being Emmy nominated.
I was going to say the same thing.
If not Emmy nominated, Emmy winning. Like we're putting a lot of energy into this.
You better say it. Put it out there. We will be an Emmy. Award-winning.
We will definitely be an Emmy Award-winning show. And I also have to shout out the Patreon gang because it's their commitment to us that has allowed us to have the resources to buy $30,000 worth of cameras, hire new editors. Like the stuff that they're about to see now, we're not skimpsing anymore. Yeah. We are giving the fans the type of production they will see on television. We want to do that because we want to show them you can do this too. This is the same couple that you saw in the freaking apartment with a cell phone.
Literally.
The same exact couple. And now we've elevated to this because you guys have believed in us. So I want them to see that from us and be like, I can do it too because the Ellises did it.
Absolutely. And just I think for me, what I see moving forward is for the podcast space for us to continue to be a place where people just learn and people become better human beings just because of maybe a tidbit or something. We don't profess to know everything about everything, but through sharing our experiences, I think is super powerful. And that's what's been able to sustain us and our audience for so long is just really authentically being ourselves, sharing our life experience, showing that we were just two young kids in Brooklyn with a dream that got together and figured out how are we going to make this happen? And we're still figuring it out day to day.
Yeah. Last question, legacy and impact. When it comes to that, you've made such an incredible impact as both a couple and individuals, both personally and professionally, right? What kind of legacy do you hope that Ellis Ever After leaves for future generations, especially for Black families?
The legacy I wanted to leave is freedom. I want my sons to walk around on this earth feeling free as young Black boys. I want it to be ownership. When people go back and look at Ellis Ever After, they're going to say the Ellises created it, the Ellises owned it, the Ellises passed it on to their kids. So now their kids can do whatever they want to do. If it becomes a production company, if they take Ellis Ever After and becomes the next generation, I want it to represent for the next generation ownership and freedom.
That's dope. For the next generation, it's just being sure of who they are, being sure of self, knowledge, I think the cliche is knowledge is power, but really knowing who you are, learning the people around you, learning how to coexist amicably in this space. I mean, life is ultimately us all just trying to figure it out, right? On a day-to-day basis. So I would love for the legacy of Ellis Ever After is people just learning to give others grace, to walk through in humility and to just all around be a good human being, because that can go a long way.
Facts.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Devale and Khadeen, thank you so much for your authenticity, your transparency, and continuing to show us what evolving love and purpose and partnership truly looks like.
No,
And
thank you, Portia.
absolutely. And as you guys step into this next chapter, we are right here with you, standing by, applauding, laughing, and growing. So thank you so much. Much love to you and the entire Ellis family. And we will be watching Ellis
Thank
Evans.
you so much. We appreciate you, Portia.
Portia Monique, girl.
You better do it.
Yes. Thank you so much for your platform and your time.
Thank you.